Hey everyone, welcome to 2024. Been kind of bad about posting this January, but do want to thank all the loyal KendallCast patrons, Scott, Jared, Blake, Joe, Ben, Zach, and Gary. Your donations really do help with the expenses involved in podcasting. Like I say at the end of every episode, every little bit helps. Da da da, da da da. Welcome to Top 8 with Corran and Batmouse. I'm your host, Corran. With me, as always, is Batmouse.
Hey, howdy, hey.
I really almost called this the KendallCast Movie Roundtable, which we have not recorded an episode in a long time, but hopefully we'll have our Dungeons and Dragons episode out sooner rather than later. One of our hosts, he went and has a kid that is in a play, and has been priorities, right? So yeah, and then we have a special guest, Mr. David Woods.
Hello.
And our I don't know. Have I given you a trivia title yet, Karl?
I think I can be Sargent of Trivia. That's fine.
Sergeant of Trivia. Okay,
that fits with today's theme.
Karl Koenig.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I'm here and excited to talk about Troopers.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to create a definitive list of the top 8 Darkside Troopers. This was David's idea. Because David likes Troopers. Why do you like Troopers so much, David?
Well, it was back in the day. I didn't have a lot of cards. Definitely didn't have any mains. Cloud City came out with this card called Trooper Assault, and all of a sudden, all these cards I had could be useful, and I could beat people. I could beat up Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan with these guys. So I played that, and I still play a lot of Troopers to this day.
Troopers are fun. Batmouse, do you have any opinions on Troopers?
I'm also of that. I call it Rich Kid Star Wars, and I was not a portion of Rich Kid Star Wars.
That's right.
So I love Troopers mainly because it lets me, their combo cards are also great. Trooper Assault are great, but I like Strategic Reserves.
Great card.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
So I will say that, first of all, I have somebody on my top 8 list that I don't know what that card does, so I might have to look that up eventually. I think that I have ever played 4 Darkside Troopers in decks ever. Maybe. Well, I mean, unless you count intro decks with like Stormtroopers and stuff, but like. As far as competitive constructive decks, I've played that one, maybe, definitely that one, maybe that one. So like,
four
unless that one does something, I don't know what that. I gotta look up what that card is.
Yeah, playing 4 copies of Stormtrooper Garrison is definitely a thing too.
Oh, no, I definitely have not played him. Okay.
Oh man, so it's like Map. You've played Map. That's
yes,
what
I played Map exactly. Yes. Yeah, I played Map and I played Stormtrooper Garrison. You're right. You're correct. I probably, honestly, if we did Lightside Troopers, I would probably have a little bit more knowledge on it. But yeah, this is. But still, luckily, but fortunately, I only have to put 3 on my list, right? So as long as I have the 3 troopers that I've played before. So this should be a fun one. All right, Sergeant Karl.
Mm-hmm.
Take it from here.
All right. So in order to determine the order of creating the list, and we will go over what that means when we get to that point, we're going to have a trivia contest. There will be some questions that will go around. A few of them will be round robin. We want to give the person who came up with the topic, a little bit of a head start. So we're going to let you be the first one to answer the first question I have. If there is a tie, I do have a tiebreaker. And when we get to the point, there is something very special with the defensive shield for getting that. But we'll get to that after we get to trivia. So the first trivia question for tonight, in the order will go David, then Kendall, then Batmouse. So the question is, which trooper makes precise attack a used interrupt?
Let's see. Do not know the answer to this, so it's gonna be a guess. And we'll go with the... What's another? I feel like it's gotta be a Sandra. What's the name of the triple dot A New Hope squad leader guy? That's what I'm going with. Do I have to know the name? Do I have to tell you the name?
Triple dot A New Hope.
I think it's a
Imperial squad leader?
Imperial squad leader. That's not
Okay.
it. He lets them move together, but
That's who you're going with, is your answer?
that's what I'm going with. I feel
Okay.
like it's got to be a Tatooine guy, right? With that precise attack.
We'll find out. Kendall.
All right.
All right. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay. Yeah. What's? Oh.
The
Do you have a question?
Yeah, the question is, which trooper makes precise attack a used interrupt?
So I didn't know that precise attack wasn't a used interrupt in the first place. Yeah, I was thinking that it was. Or no. Precise attack is the premier card. Okay. Well, it has to be an Imperial Stormtrooper because only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise. Well, I know that Davin Felth was there, so we'll say Davin Felth.
All right, definitely.
So I feel bad. I looked this up. I just looked it up, and it's a trooper I've played in a bunch of decks, and I got it wrong. But the name steered me wrong.
You may not have gotten it wrong because Batmouse, you still need to tell me who do you think it, and it may be one of the answers.
No, I have no idea, actually. But I just want to say Dyson. But that feels wrong. That feels like a corporal who's actually an indoor guy. But I'm going to say Dyson because I just want to say Dyson.
Okay, so we have a guess of Dyson, and shockingly, none of you got that right. It is Sargent Narthax from Hoth.
Nope.
And
Hoth?
while on Hoth
I
makes
guess
all
the
of your
blast points
snowtroopers,
we're pretty precise.
all of your snowtroopers immune to Ice Storm when in battle on Hoth with another super adds one destiny. Precise attack targeting at the same or related site is a used interrupt.
I played precise attack at Worlds one year in 2021 because I thought I was being cool because it wasn't coded in GEMP. Is it in GEMP yet?
I don't believe it is.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's like one of the not very many cards that are like actually relevant or potentially relevant. I asked because it was in my Destroyer Droids deck. I asked how precise attack worked with Destroyer Droids. I sent Gurgle a message, and it basically was like he was like, it works however you want it to work. Like it was like you apply because
somebody will either fight you on it or not.
well, no. That wasn't what he meant. Was basically like that it works because what precise attack does is you add two weapons stuff together and then apply it to both. So if you have two destroyer droids, then it applies both of their weapons to both targets and or one target. But it applies both. It totals up the destiny. And then also both of their, when they hit triggers happen. So they make them lose force or activate or whatever.
So far we have no points awarded. But there's a chance on the next one that someone's going to get this right.
I award you no points. God have mercy on your soul.
We're not there yet.
So, watch that last night.
All right, Kendall, I'm going to start with you.
All right.
Which of the following troopers is not a Death Star trooper? Corporal Grenwick, Corporal Prescott, Sergeant Major Enfeld, Sergeant Merrill, or Sergeant Torrance? Now, this may seem like a trick question, but they all do look like Death Star troopers. But one of them
look like
is
Death Star.
actually, in fact, not.
Well, one of them's an. You just get that's a huge hint. One of them's a trooper guard.
Is it a hint?
It's Sergeant Major something. The one with the really long name.
Sergeant Major Enfeld. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right, Batmouse.
They were Prescott, Torrent, Grenwick,
Enfeld, and Merrill.
Enfeld and Merrill. I have no idea who Merrill is. So Enfield feels right. And Merrill just like I said, I have no idea who that is. I just don't want it to be that one. But I also don't want to agree with Kendall. So I'm gonna go with Merrill.
Well, that's the one. That's what I was gonna go for. I don't know why,
David?
but that's the one that felt like it to me.
Yeah, I mean it's a right or wrong answer, so you can have the same answer if you think it's right.
Well, David and Batmouse, you guys have cracked the board. It is in fact Sergeant Merrill. He's the only one, and we can't shoot. This is a podcast, so you can't see it. But if you look at this picture, he looks like
Yeah,
Death Star.
You know, before the card was released, it was actually leaked, and people online called him Sergeant Peekaboo. That's a Pokemon reference.
All right, so the score after 2 questions is Batmouse and David have 1 point, and Kendall has 0. Question 3.
That's about right.
You guys mentioned it that everyone loves troopers, and when you're playing a trooper deck, who doesn't love playing Trooper Assault? So all of the Death Star troopers that I just mentioned on the previous question are out of sight. They are joined by my favorite trooper, Sergeant Karl, and Darth Vader, Emperor's Enforcer. A battle starts in which you play Trooper Assault, and spend 1 force to play Dark Jedi Presence. What is your total power before Destiny?
And
I will award this if you are within plus or minus 3 of the total number.
All right, can you give us the names again?
So troopers Grenwick, Prescott, Sergeant Major Enfeld, and Sergeant Torrance, along with Sergeant Karl and Darth Vader in a battle. Trooper Assault is played.
So Merrill's not there? Did you skip Merrill?
Merrill is not there because he is not a Death Star trooper.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Just making sure.
Yep. So I'll simplify this a little bit for you.
He's still a trooper.
Right. I was saying for the purpose of this question, he is a trooper, but he is not a Death Star trooper.
It would make it extra tricky if he wasn't there because he's an alien. So Dark Jedi Presence wouldn't work.
Yeah. So I'll help simplify this. There are 5 troopers and Darth Vader. Trooper Assault is played, and then Dark Jedi Presence.
Are they on the Death Star?
For the purposes of this question, yes, they are on the Death Star.
Okay, and we initiated the battle.
We initiated the battle. That is correct.
All right.
Is Tarl regular, not Tarl V?
It is Tarl V.
Was he deployed this turn?
He was deployed this turn.
All right.
I'm making this really complicated, but I wanted to get a high number up here. So I will award it if you were within plus or minus of 3. Batmouse, we're starting with you.
Sorry, I'm still doing math.
Okay. 5 troopers?
There are 5 troopers.
Okay.
Sorry. I can't math right now. If you ever get to see the recording, I mean, you see Batman counting, mouth open. 58.
58. David.
I'm going 48.
48. Kendall.
56. My math was I'm gonna pretend like they were all power 3, and then they get +2 from Trooper Assault and double. So then they're 50, and then Darth Vader's is a power 6. 56.
Kendall, there's no bonus points for getting it exactly right, but I must commend you.
Nice.
Good job. The answer,
Was
and
my
I
math right? I mean,
it
were they
is
all power
exactly.
3?
They average to be power 3. Some of them are 4, a couple of them are 2.
Okay.
And so if you did it that way, so yes. So Batmouse, you get a point because I said I would give it to anyone who's within plus or minus of 3. And
Nice.
Yes.
so Batmouse is now in the lead at 2 with Kendall and David at 1. But Kendall, for winning the episode, I'm going to remember that for later. So
The Trooper expert's not doing as well as I
I
expected.
know, right?
question
Come on.
4. Another card that is often played in Trooper decks is Strategic Reserves. How many different cards can be used to trigger Strategic Reserves? And I will award anyone who is within plus or minus 1. And I've been keeping the same order. So David, this one starts with you.
Oh man. Yeah, let's see. That's another one. 1, 2. All right, so I've thought of 8 so far for sure. Let's see. I'm gonna go with 9.
Okay, 9.
Question again. It only Troopers, right? Or period.
No, you can't answer that. You can't answer that. It's cards that can stack on Strategic Reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess I should have clarified, but yep, go on.
Yeah, because it. Yeah, I don't want to say what it does.
I meant to say in keeping that would meet the theme for this evening. I guess I forgot. But all right, Batmouse.
I'm gonna go with. Oh, sorry. $13.
Okay, 13. And Kendall.
I'm gonna say 10.
Okay. By my count, and I guess I should have clarified in keeping with the theme of tonight's episode, I counted 12.
Ooh.
Is Strategic Reserves non-unique Imperials or is it Troopers that block?
It's non-unique
It's
Imperials.
non-unique Imperials.
Yeah.
And so there are technically 13 non-unique. Well, there's 12. One of them that could have thrown anyone off.
The Reserve
Cloud
Pilot.
City Trooper is an alien.
It's an alien,
Yeah.
But Reserve Pilot is 2 dots, so non-unique. So that would be the 13th.
Yeah,
one, right?
Reserve. Wait. Yeah. Count. Yeah. What do you have on your list? What do you have on your list? Because
I have 12.
I feel like it's. I think it's. I have a feeling it's 13.
13.
Yeah,
It's
read off your list.
Yeah.
Mine.
Or Karl, the boss guy, Mr. Boss Guy. See if that way, if any of us can think of one that wasn't included.
So I had Biker Scout Trooper, Death Star Trooper, Death Trooper, Elite Squadron Stormtrooper, Imperial Squad Leader, Imperial Trooper Guard, Navy Trooper, Sand Trooper, Snow Trooper, Snow Trooper Officer, Stormtrooper, Stormtrooper Cadet, Stormtrooper Garrison, and Stormtrooper Patrol.
Okay. So you were just doing troopers.
Troopers,
So, like
yeah.
you didn't include Royal Guard or Imperial Pilot or
No, it was supposed to be in keeping with the theme. I
Okay.
apologize for not saying
Okay.
that. So
whatever. That's just whatever. Give Batmouse the points.
I did give Batmouse the point because I said I would give it to anyone who's in plus or minus of 1.
There you go.
All right.
Imperial Commander. That was what I was.
Yeah. So this one will be awarded to the first person who can say the card title. Name the Dark Side Trooper who has both armor and a permanent weapon.
Sergeant Narthe with E-Way Blaster.
FN 2003.
It's 5s. Going to
Fives
fives.
is the light side card.
9s. It's 9s.
9s. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
I've still not heard the actual name yet.
FN 2199.
There it is.
But this is 9s.
Yes, 9s is the only one that has both armor and a permanent weapon.
Okay, so that card has been in a deck also. So that makes it like 5s.
5. You're at 5 now.
Next question.
All right.
How many troopers has Kendall ever played in a deck?
Okay. Kendall, I'm pretty sure that this card was mentioned for trivia specifically for you.
Uh-oh.
So you're going to be the first one to answer. According to his lore, which biker scout trooper monitors Yuzum activity?
Which biker scout trooper?
Yes, monitors Yuzum activity.
I know the Yuzums are on Endor because they only deploy to Endor, or they Endor or something else. But biker scout trooper, the non-unique. I have no idea.
All right, Batmouse.
We're going to say Corporal Averick.
Corporal Abrick. And David.
In your question, did you say biker scout trooper?
I did say biker scout trooper.
Well, I'm so far behind. I got to go with something they didn't say. I'm going to go with Oberk.
Oberk. Well, you're even further behind. Batmouse is correct. It is Corporal Averick.
Guys, this is not supposed to be happening right now.
It really isn't.
Yeah,
So
I'm doing really bad.
The score right now is I have Batmouse with 5, Kendall with 1, and David with 1. So I guess we're going to need to do the tiebreaker to determine second. So
Race to the bottom.
Here we go.
Kendall, as the host, do you want Batmouse to participate in this, or do you want it to just be you and David
if
to
it's
figure
a tiebreaker, it should just be me and David. Yeah.
All right. So Batmouse, you have secured the position to select which player you want to be, but to determine the next piece, Kendall and David, I will need for you to save as kind of a round robin. By my counts, there are 36 unique Decipher troopers, as in no virtual cards. It must have and inherently be a trooper based off either looking up lore or having trooper in the name. So no card that becomes a trooper because of another effect or other piece. I will need you each to take turns naming a Decipher printed trooper until someone is not able to continue. So, David, I will start with you.
Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper. That is correct.
Oh, okay. So they don't have to be unique. Okay.
Just Decipher.
Cadet.
Stormtrooper Cadet. That is correct.
Stormtrooper Garrison.
Garrison is correct.
Elite Squadron Stormtrooper.
Elite Squadron Stormtrooper is correct.
Snowtrooper.
Snowtrooper is correct.
Imperial Trooper Guard.
Imperial Trooper Guard is correct.
Sand Trooper.
Sand Trooper.
Death
Okay.
Star Trooper.
Death Star Trooper. Yep.
Cloud City Trooper.
Cloud City Trooper is correct.
Biker Scout Trooper.
Biker Scout Trooper is correct.
What are there? We will go with Sergeant Merrill.
Sergeant Merrill is correct.
Sergeant Tarl.
Sergeant Tarl is the best sergeant ever and is correct.
All right, we'll stick with sergeants. We'll go Sergeant Major Bursk.
Sergeant Major Bursk is now off the list.
Corporal Prescott.
Corporal Prescott is now off the list.
Sergeant Barrick.
Sergeant Barrick is now off the list.
Trooper Davenfelth.
Trooper Davenfelth has reported for duty.
Sergeant Wallen.
Sergeant Wallen is off the board.
Imperial Squad Leader.
Imperial Squad Leader is reporting for duty.
Sergeant Narthex.
Sergeant Narthax is correct. I figured Kendall would have missed this after 2.
I think I'm out of sergeants that I can remember now, so I gotta move on.
Did I already say Trooper Davenfelth?
You have, and I need an answer.
Okay. See, I don't want to say that one because I wouldn't have known that one, even though it's sitting in front of me. Is Navy Trooper Decipher?
Navy Trooper is Decipher.
Okay.
It's an Endor card. David?
All right. Trooper Gerald Blenden.
Gerald Blenden is correct.
So not only do I not have another one, but that's the one I was trying to think of and couldn't.
Nice.
So I'll give it to David.
All right. So David wins.
At least I knew the non-uniques.
I got to give you guys credit. That went longer than I thought it would. So
it would have gone a lot faster if we had to name unique characters.
Yeah.
Sergeant Nardak with E-Web Blaster.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Decipher only.
Because I have Sergeant Elsec written in front of me, but there is no way that, because it's on my list, there is no way that I would have been able to name him if I wasn't cheating.
He's the sergeant I was missing.
Yep. All right. So with that, we have our winner of trivia tonight, which is Batmouse, who will get the distinction of being player A, who will have the first.
Did you choose player A?
I'm choosing player A.
No. I'm going through the list. So Batmouse will have the opportunity to decide if he wants to be player A, who will have pick 1, 4, and a defensive shield. Player B, which has picks 2, 6, and 8, or player C, who has picks 3, 5, and 7. Player A gets a defensive shield, which is the Yavin Sentry Shield. Now, for those of you who know the game, the Yavin Sentry Shield, there is a cost whenever you deploy a character weapon vehicle that has the same name. So when you get this, it means that there's an extra cost or the pick will be sensed. Now, the players do not know what the contents of this shield will actually do. I am sending a personal message to Batmouse as we speak, who will now know what this is because he said he will be player A.
Oh, yeah. I want the shield. I want to know what it is.
Mm-hmm. So check your DM.
Got it.
Whatever the shield is, it caused Batmouse to turn his camera off.
Okay. So, David, would you like to be player B, who has picks 2, 6, and 8, or player C, who has picks 3, 5, and 7.
I'll go 2, 6, and 8 because I want my guy as high as I can get him.
Okay. So David will be player B. And Kendall, that leaves you at 3.
That's great because that means that's the role that's hardest to screw up the list with.
And yet we're gonna try. Now
I'm definitely not trying to. If I successfully ruin the list, it is because of my incompetence.
now
I'm not trying to be edgy here.
We're trying to build a list. Players have 2 senses and an alter. A sense can be used to let's say that someone wants to make Sargent number 8, and we all know it needs to be higher on the list. You can play a sense. Players have a chance to play an alter to cancel a sense, and a sense can be used to cancel an alter, but a sense cannot be used to cancel a sense. When and if the defensive shield is pulled, when that comes up, the condition will be met to the players who it is, and then I will ultimately decide if the shield is successful or not. If I determine it is, the pick can go through. If I determine it is not, it is like it was sensed, and it cannot be altered. So it pretty much just means the cost has to be incurred in order to make it happen. So if that sounds confusing, wait for it. It's going to be magical.
That's the whole thing of this. That's the whole point of this podcast. It sounds confusing when you explain it, and then when it happens, it all makes sense.
So, I have a quick clarification. I get to inflict that on someone else, right?
Yourself if you want, but yes.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. All right. So we do this in reverse order. So we're going to start with pick 8. So David, who is the 8th best dark side trooper in Star Wars Cards CCG?
All right, so number 8 on my list, I had one of the newest troopers from set 21, TD 4445. This is the guy who pulls the dewback, gives you a 61st card in your deck. He's pretty sweet, cool picture. He gets an extra card, and he gets to ride around on a dewback. Creature vehicles in the game.
Defensive shield.
Didn't take long for this to happen.
Quick.
So,
Man.
David, as there is a cost with most things, this one has 2 parts. It will both be a part of humility and a part of skill.
Uh-oh.
In order for Stormtrooper TD445 to make the list at number 8, you must, to the tune of Happy Birthday, sing about why you like this trooper.
Oh my goodness.
This is why Gurgle is the Grandmaster of Trivia.
And I want to say that this was all a brainchild of Gurgle, and when I read it, I said, this is beautiful. Now, while you're thinking about singing Happy Birthday, there will be a second part to this, but when you're ready, take it away.
Oh my gosh.
You don't have to make it all the way through Happy Birthday, maybe 1 or 2 lines, but here we go.
All right. So I see this. I'm not using Happy Birthday words. I gotta go completely new words, right?
You
That's what
can.
we're saying.
I will decide if you win.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you're ready.
TD 4445. You are so great. You add a 61st card, and you get to ride a dewback. No, that's the best.
That's the Chili's version of Happy Birthday, I think.
Singing is not a strong suit.
I'm going to give you a chance to sway a little bit here, in that to further prove that you love this trooper without looking at the screen. So if you have it up on the screen, reduce it.
All right.
Can you tell me the destiny, power, ability, deploy, and forfeit of Mr. TD.
All right.
Forfeit 5.
Deploy forfeit, I'm going 2-3. Power ability 2-2. Deploys -2 on a dewback that you reveal from your under your defensive shields.
Mm-hmm.
And he cannot be targeted by axes or lightsabers while on a dewback. Characters on dewbacks. Yeah. And what else did I need?
Destiny.
The
We need
Destiny. It's a 2 or a 3. I'm going 3 because he's awesome.
Okay, you did a really good attempt at trying to save it with all of the things you said being correct. You
nice.
really do know this card very well. Batmouse, I don't think that song did enough to really make me feel
Yeah.
I was humiliated.
I think he's cut.
So I think that TD445 has been shielded. The Yavin Sentry Shield will prevent you from making him number 8. So you will need to give me another. That doesn't mean he can't make the list.
For higher in the list, right?
He just can't be the 8th pick.
So my next guy can't be sensed or altered?
Oh no,
You're absolutely. The sensor alters are back on the table, but the shield has prevented this pick.
Yeah. Okay. Huh. Well.
And if that doesn't make podcast magic, I don't know what will.
Yeah, that's why'd you have to use that on me?
Well, because Kendall sings.
Yeah, I do not sing. All right. Well, I'm going into the honorable mentions here, so I'm gonna go with the fun one. I'm gonna go with Trooper Gerald Blendon.
Trooper Gerald Blendon.
This is because original trilogy characters, there's only 2 with a deploy of equals to 0, and he is 1, Ozzel being the other. When I first started all my troopers when Cloud City came out, he was in all my decks. He's a very easy card to get in Cloud City. He deploys for 0, power 2, power +2 in a battle you initiate on Cloud City. Oh no, I guess anywhere, but he only deploys to Cloud City. So Trooper Assault, he's power 6, all by himself, deploys for 0. There is a bribe mechanic, so Lightside can use 2 Force to remove him from battle if they have it. But he was great. He's more powerful than Obi-Wan with the Trooper Assault by himself. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but what if Obi-Wan has an Obi-Wan assault plate on?
Well, Obi-Wan can just use 1 Force to make him move away. But
he doesn't even have to bribe him. He doesn't even have to bribe him.
Yeah, he can spend 1 less.
All right, so we have Trooper Gerald Blendon put up at the 8th pick. Kendall, do we have a sense?
So that was literally my number 9. Was it like I was looking at when I made my list, I looked at him and I seriously considered him. This is one of those picks, which happens a lot on this show, where I feel like I'm crazy and edgy, and then actually it's the thing that everybody thinks. That my opinion is much more mainstream than it seems. So
nostalgia is a big factor with that guy.
Well, and it's number 8. It's low. It's low on the list. So this is the spot for the fun picks. So yes, I'm all
Batmouse.
Right.
Batmouse?
I don't want to pick on you. So no, I like that he's a off the wall kind of trooper, and pick 8 is exactly a spot where you want that to happen. Him being able to help you, like if you had Trooper Blend, you had Blendon and Davenfeld, and like who else had deploy 0 or 1 guy. Like, all right, cool. I get to set up, start deal super early in this game, for next to nothing. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Just because of the off the wall factor, I'll allow it.
All right.
If you've got Dark Deal out, he is power 10 by himself if you initiate battle. because you get
Status.
+4 from Dark Deal, and you have at least one ship at the sector. So that's +5. Or no, power 11. Sorry, said that wrong. So he's a
Alright.
6 +5.
I miss when Dark Deal was playable.
I love Dark Deal.
Like that was such an interesting.
Same, such a fan.
All right, so Trooper Gerald Blendon has made it in the 8th slot.
All right.
Kendall, who is the 7th best dark side trooper?
Okay,
in
so
Star Wars
I am
CCG?
I'm going to use this as my slightly silly pick. I'm going to use the character who the only thing that I know about him, I don't know what his actual text does, but I know that he's only a trooper because he made his superiors angry when he pointed out the flaw in the AT-AT walkers, which is and then he got demoted and sent to Tatooine. That's of course Trooper Davenfelth. Also he shoots the superior officer in Tales of Mos Eisley Cantina, which is awesome.
Trooper Devin Felth has been nominated at pick 7. Batmouse.
And he's got Trooper in his name.
Oh, I really like Davenfeld. I really don't like him at 7, but I want him on the list. But nobody else is going to pick him any higher because he is very good, but he is not as good as some of the other Dark Side Trooper. I'm going to pass the sense.
Right.
Ooh,
David?
see, Batmouse, Trooper Davenfeld is my favorite stormtrooper in the game. Stat-wise, he has the best stat line. Deploy 1, forfeit 3, 2-2. He's been around forever. He is my number 1 trooper. Number 1.
Spoiler alert.
Then
See,
do it
I
away.
thought I was being edgy.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. I
Do
won't.
it.
I won't sense him at number 2. Also, I'll say that.
Do the thing.
But I
Batmouse just said he wants him higher on the list, and he was afraid nobody else would pick him. And I will tell you, I won't. There's not a spot on the. I only put him this low because I thought you guys would
David
want him.
uses a sense. Is
All
there
right.
an alter?
I'm liking this list.
Is there an alter? I have to ask, is there an alter?
No.
Batmouse? Okay.
Nope.
Kendall, give me another trooper for number 7.
Well, just because we're all friends here, I'm gonna pick my actual number 7 because Davenport was my number 8. So, but we'll bump him up the list. I'm fine with that. And I'm gonna pick TD 444445. I think
since he was already picked, I will need you to sing to the tune of Happy
Yes.
Birthday about why you like him.
I'd
so I
like
had to do
to
this no
play
matter-
cards from underneath my starting effect. Remember in Legacy when you could play Boobo and the Sarlacc. And this is the next step towards that.
I actually really wasn't going to have you do that, but that was pretty good. So,
Man,
Batmouse, do you
I
have
had
a
time
sense?
to think about it, and I still failed miserably. Just boom, boom, boom.
I mean, I didn't know that it was a perpetual thing. Now I kind of want
It is. Actually, Batmouse, it wasn't. I threw it out there as good podcast audio humor, and Kendall just ran with it. So,
It's yes and, right?
yep, pretty much.
I'm gonna pass that because I actually like that song better than the first song.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I assume, David, that will not get a sense from you.
No, that's good.
All right. So T4445 has finally made the list at number 7. With our 6th pick, David.
All right. Who do I want to get on here next? So I am worried about who all you have in the top numbers.
You should especially be worried what I have in my top numbers.
Yeah. So
I feel
for
like this is one of those lists. I feel like there's not really like a definitive like. clear number 1 or clear number whatever.
There's a lot of pretty powerful guys. I'm gonna go with my number 6 because I want him in there. I'm gonna go with Stormtrooper Cadet.
Stormtrooper Cadet has been put forth as the number 6 pick. Kendall. First, David, why?
Yeah.
Well, so deploys free with the Imperial Leader. It's always nice. Free is good. Gets rid of all attrition. I mean, unless you hit him with the stupid lightsabers that aren't forfeit 0, they're just may not be used for attrition. He covers everything. Doesn't matter how many battle destinies they draw. One cadet covers it all. Then he adds power to another non-unique. So it's a lot of good things. Destiny 3 goes on strategic reserves. It's a lot of pluses.
We're on the same page here. This is why we're on the same team. I love Stormtrooper Cadet. I think 6 is a real good place. I had him a little higher, but yeah, I think that's a real good. It's an interesting card. Kind of encourages you to play the OG Stormtrooper a little bit. Fits nicely in the OTSD. Yeah, good solid card. And yeah, there definitely are times when it's just like you've got a doom stack of troopers that you're faced up against, and they do something and they only lose a cadet, and it's like, oh man.
Yep. Batmouse, sense.
I'm not gonna sense. I like using cadet in like my ISB, like my aggressive ISB decks. For that exact same reason. He's just like, oh, you're gonna take away my cadet, and I'm still gonna get to be everywhere on the table. Sure, let's go with that.
All right. So
I like the flavor too that like the Empire just like shoves their new guy in front.
Yep.
By the way,
I mean, Batmouse did that to our guest. He, just offered him up and said, "Here, sing for me."
Yeah. Ugh. Funny thing about him is he doesn't have a warrior icon. I always thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't even hold a gun.
He can't even have a gun. He's literally just a human shield.
He's not even old enough to drink in the Empire. He's just there.
Is Rebel Trooper Recruit the same?
I don't know.
I think so.
I feel like
that's a lifetime card.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff we just said makes sense for the Imperials, not so much with the Rebels.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he's the same.
Same. All right.
Okay, so both sides, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
So yeah. Kendall, who is the 5th best dark side trooper in Star Wars CCG?
Shoot. Man, see, this is the hard thing because I've got a couple on there. Wait, okay, what does this guy do? He's on my list. Yeah. Do I do that? Oh yeah, okay. Okay. I'm trying to use that. Okay, that's not gonna work. I need to look him up on Scomplink. Hold on. Maybe I'll edit this out. Because I can't have my Scomplink window open while we're recording because I'll get notifications and then it shows up on the thing. Is that the right name? Okay, yes, okay. So this guy is... If I hated trooper decks, which I don't, but if I did, like if they were like tier 1 and I was constantly fighting and I was like, Rah! This would be my most hated trooper. But because it's actually fun to play against trooper decks, this guy I think belongs on the list. He shows up he's a staple in trooper decks. Sargent Elsek. This is the biker scout trooper who, when forfeited as same site as your other biker scout, also satisfies all remaining attrition and battle damage against you. So he is
the human geek.
He is a human geek, sort of like the trooper recruit. He helps with that. He helps with that attrition. And I feel like when you see those, like, I kind of like Biker Scout Trooper decks are kind of decks that like I envy. Like I don't have the knowledge of all these different random unique dudes to build the thing and know how to play the thing. But a lot of times, especially if I'm playing like a casual Premiere to Death Star 2 game or something, my opponent will play like all these random cards from Endor, and I'm like, I have no idea what any of these cards do. And Elsic is always like a key player in those matchups that are always really, really interesting.
All right. Sargent Elsic has been nominated at spot number 5. Batmouse, do we have a sense?
I'm gonna go ahead and sense Sargent Elsic, for the same reason that playing against Trooper decks is not fun sometimes. I don't want the human Gick in front of me. That, and there are I feel 5 Stormtroopers that are better than him, and we only have 5 spots left. So
okay, David, would you like to use an altar?
No, I'm not going to use an altar. I really like Elsic. I did not include him on my top 8. I included one Biker Scout though. It wasn't Elsic, but Elsic is my second favorite Biker Scout.
Kendall,
I'm gonna alter.
Like to...
I'm gonna alter. I'm looking at the rest of my list, and like this is the only time I would use an alter. So I'm gonna use the alter.
Batmouse or David, would you like to use a sense to cancel the alter?
I've already used one, so I can't. But if you wanted to, this would be a good spot.
I have used a sense also. Ooh.
I mean, yeah, you technically can, Batmouse. You can use your second sense if you feel that strongly.
I mean, there are 5 other better Stormtrooper here.
Yeah.
Will I pick one?
I mean, you have to. I'm not going to use a sense. If David would, and you should. David would.
David Woods.
I'm gonna do this, but I need some good faith here that you're not gonna screw me on Davenport later, guys.
No,
all right.
I'm not gonna mess up Davenport later. Do it.
David has used a sense, so Sargent Elsic will not be the 5th best trooper. So Kendall, please give me another pick.
I don't know what these guys do.
Well, I mean, pick the best one.
just pick my number 1 now.
Yeah,
this is number 5 though. Which one is this one? Okay, okay. So I picked an annoying guy and got him bad. So I'm gonna pick another annoying guy. And I think I don't remember if this was when we were recording or not, but I've only played a small number of troopers in decks, and so now we are into map. And I mean, we haven't had any first order guys yet.
Haven't even mentioned the first order.
Yeah. So we will do FN 2003. This is the first order stormtrooper who hits himself and then cancels game text and the target can't use weapons for a remainder of turn. Very good against like fully immune Jedi or permanent weapon characters. Sort of again coming at it from the other side. Like I think that it's a fun back and forth. The trooper deck matchups are fun back and forth, and this is something that they do that is like, oh man, that is, the mains matchup for map can be rough, and this is one of those things that will kind of punch through. Sort of like, I like Court and I like Forlom or Cad Bane, kind of being able to sort of target that weakness. I like cards that target a deck's weakness or target a deck's that or address like dark side card. It's a dark side card and it is weak against, and it addresses the weakness that dark side has by hitting the. You guys understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I read a book today. My brain is fried.
So, Batmouse, would you like to use your last remaining sense?
No, I'm gonna pass on sense because I FN 2003 is one of the 5 better trooper than Sergeant Elsek. Having the ability to shut down Mace Windu or Qui-Gon Jinn or Luke is a massive thing. I hate it when it happens to me, but it's a necessary evil that it's costed well within the game.
Mhm.
It costed well.
It's the opposite of Master Luke, right? Because Master Luke,
I'm still not over the last episode, so we're gonna move on.
Master Luke hits a deck that is already strong against it, or that it's already strong against. This targets a deck that has an advantage against that is in a position of advantage.
All right. So FN 2003 is our fifth pick. So Batmouse, it is to you with pick number 4.
I mean, I don't know that anybody's gonna pick it otherwise, but I would really like to put Stormtrooper Garrison here.
Stormtrooper Garrison, and
yes.
Why is that?
Stormtrooper Garrison. So back before it got shielded, you could put a field promotion on this, and you could protect a stack of Imperial leaders and just go. And they do nothing to you. You get to add a battle lesson with an Imperial leader. But it's a garrison, so you're going over and taking and occupying your opponent's location, and it adds 4 strains there. +1 for the regular location, +2 if it's a rebel base. And it's one of the maintenance cards that I don't hate. I mean, it has cost 6 to deploy. It's only 4 forfeit. And it only has ability 1. So it on its own, it is not a bad card, and it needs other cards to make it a really good card. So that's why I Stormtrooper Garrison.
All right, David, you have no senses. So Kendall, do you what's a sense?
None of us, not really do any of us have any sense. So preview for next month. Our next episode is going to deal with ability 1 characters.
Ooh.
And
he's a good ability 1
foreshadowing.
character.
And this is a good ability 1 character.
Mm-hmm.
I love high power 1 ability. It's great. I love stormtroopers with armor. It bugs me that the original stormtroopers don't have armor. I understand thematically, but I like
they can
so much of the cards design. I also love maintenance cards. I mean, quite frankly, I don't know that there is if Leia Rebel Princess had a maintenance cost, then I'd be on board with her. I honestly don't think that, at least today, with cards like Perimeter Scan, and other cards that kind of, and like Django Fett or whatever, cards that are there to target maintenance cards. I think that there's a good balance there. I also just kind of like cards that kind of come out of nowhere. And then also, of course, there needs to be a card that represents a whole bunch of stormtroopers, because you can't play. I mean, you can obviously, you can play decks with lots of stormtroopers in them, and you got trooper assault or whatever, but there's an obvious disadvantage of having to play 10 copies of stormtrooper in your deck if you have to do that. So having a card that just says this is a whole bunch of stormtroopers, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. I like it. I would have put it at number 1 probably if I was number 1, but that's why I'm not in charge of number 1. I'm not going to use a sense to bump it up to number 3. So
you're in charge of number 3, which so Garrison's going to stay, and now on to the 3rd pick. So Kendall, who is the 3rd best trooper?
And so that's hard. That's hard because all my high tough stuff has already been taken. Because I have above Stormtrooper Garrison, I have FN 2003 Sargent Elsek Stormtrooper Cadet. I could put Sargent Elsek at number 3.
You have the ability to try.
What does Captain Phasma do? Is that who I'm going to put there? I forget if she's actually good.
Yes.
The answer is yes, she's good.
Yes. And the answer is yes.
Because I can sell her. I just don't remember what she does. She adds Battle Destiny with a Stormtrooper. Okay. And she retrieves troopers. Okay, good. She is good. I'm totally lost with all this stuff. So yeah, no, but yeah, Captain Phasma is the only one I think on my list that we haven't talked about yet. Yeah, literally, except for that one, but I don't actually think it's that good. So, yeah, Captain Phasma. Again, I've played Map. So another First Order. I like Captain Phasma as a character. I think a lot more than some people. I kind of like her as the the villain that kept coming back. I kind of wish that they brought her back in Rise of Skywalker. I've heard mixed things about the Captain Phasma novel, and I haven't read it, but some people seem to like it. Yeah, some people seem to like it. I know that Garrett and AJ listened to it on the way to Mega Worlds, and they did not enjoy it. But
forget them.
Yeah, but I've heard, but I don't know. She seems like, I don't know. I kind of liked her. I really liked her in Force Awakens, and she's a cool character. Yeah, and she adds a Battle Destiny. Adding Battle Destiny is good. Retrieving troopers is good. She gets the pull with Battle of the First Order, which is good. She gets pulled by what's his name? The guy from Harry Potter.
General Hux.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Bill Weasley.
Yeah. Just a key player. I honestly wouldn't mind like another version of Phasma that maybe was a little better to bump up the power level of Map, but yeah, she's solid.
All right, Batmouse, would you like to use your sense?
I'm not gonna sense Captain Brienne of Tarth.
You're crossing the streams there, Batmouse. Crossing the streams.
What?
All right, so Captain Phasma is number 3. David, with the number 2 pick. Should I just put it in already?
I'm going with Felth.
All right, Trooper, David.
This is left off a bunch of guys on my list. I'm really curious to see where Batmouse goes with the.
Kendall, would you like to use a sense?
No.
Batmouse.
No,
don't betray me.
I like Davin Felth. I like Davin Felth.
All right, Batmouse. So, just to give everyone who's following along, we have Trooper Gerald Blendon at number 8, TD4445 at number 7 after a few false starts. Number 6 is Stormtrooper Cadet. Number 5 is FN 2003. Number 4 is Stormtrooper Garrison. Number 3, Captain Phasma. Number 2, Trooper David Felth. And Batmouse, who is the best trooper in Star Wars CCG for the dark side?
I mean, I'm literally sitting here, and there are still 7 picks.
I know. There are a lot of good troopers not on this list.
There are a lot of really good troopers, but there are 6 picks that are sitting on my list right now, and I'm having a really hard time of choosing one.
That's so funny because I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my 8 are on the list right now.
I mean, I had probably 11 troopers that I really liked.
Yeah, a lot.
And there are I play troopers, have played troopers in the past quite a bit. So I'm a big fan. Like I love entanglements, trooper entanglements before they broke it and killed it and then massacred my boy.
I'm sad I never played when that was a thing. Although I really like the new one, so.
Yeah, I mean it's also very good too. But being able to drop everybody for like basically 1 or 0 and flip.
Yeah. The AO with that deck is dirty.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean I could go vanity pick because I just want to say that's how I roll. And have Sergeant I roll as trooper number 1.
I roll.
But I don't think I roll a trooper number 1.
Oh, yeah.
I really like the
Elsic?
Sergeant. I really like the Sergeant Wallen deploy for free when you start a fight.
He was on my 8.
Yep.
Is that the pick, or are you just saying things that you like?
He's
I'm just saying things that I like. I'm saying things that I like right now because otherwise they're not even going to be mentioned.
Well, I'm not going to give you an honorable
right?
mention at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Just
I've got several honorable mentions.
I mean, yeah, there are several honorable mentions, but being a killer bee and having the sergeant of trivia hosting us, I'm gonna play Sergeant Karl virtual as my number 1 trooper in Star Wars CCG.
I wondered if we were going there.
Kendall, would you like to sense this pick?
What does Tarl even do?
Well, when he's deployed, he gets power +2 for the remainder of turn.
Mm-hmm.
During battle with 2 of your troopers or 2 ISB agents may target a rebel present with Tarl. Target is immune to attrition, but the target game text is canceled.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So,
if you guys say so, this is where. So I yeah.
You have all the power.
I like.
You got double.
I know.
So okay. So let me just before I say one way or the other. I have one question for Batmouse. Like and answer this as clearly as you can. Is this legitimately the guy that you think of the troopers remaining? Because we have some good ones on the list already. Is this the best trooper? Just straight up and down.
Yeah, straight up and down. The best trooper without going to a second like non-unique like bunch of guy trooper. This is the trooper that I would choose next.
Yeah, I have him as 6 on my list. He's very good. The patrol Batmouse is talking about is also very, very good.
Right, but I already put.
But we
already have a bunch of guy trooper on the list.
We have Cadet and we have Garrison. So
yeah.
That covers
I mean, I was legitimately that was legitimately a question because I feel like I don't. I wanted you to say on the record that you thought he was, that this is not. Because honestly, I would have put it on the list as a vanity pick lower, but I forgot to. So I'm very happy to see it at number 1. And if it's actually a good card, I will trust you guys, and I will not.
You get to blank. With Saber. Or Luke with Saber, or Master Luke.
Totally, you get to blank Master Luke and draw Destiny if you have a bunch of troopers.
He is almost the only unique trooper I would consider playing 2 of. I'm just saying Imperial deck.
If there was a Sergeant Kendall, then I would play it up at least as much as Karl does, even if it was a terrible card.
I mean, this is legitimately Sergeant Karl. So it's like how Vader's garage is actually the best docking bay. It's not just the best docking bay because it has my name on it. I love Vader. I love Vader garage because you get to pull Colonel Jen in shuttle. So.
All right. Yep. I will.
You can sense it, but I'm just gonna.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna sense it. I just wanted to have that conversation.
But Sergeant Karl or Sergeant Karl V is number 1 on the list. So I want to go around and let everyone mention some honorable mentions before I give my list. So David, let's start with you. Who are some honorable mentions that we didn't talk about?
All right. I think the best trooper that's not on the list is the Stormtrooper Patrol, but I agree we have 2 non-uniques on there already. Do we want a 3rd non-unique? I chose for my non-uniques, I left off the Garrison because they're so expensive. For my 1 Biker Scout inclusion was Barrick, Sergeant Barrick. Subtracting from power and attrition is really, really good. And I love the combo of Barrick, another trooper, and Phasma on a Star Destroyer. Adds a Destiny, and you subtract. It's all 3 can be pulled with tactical support. Love it. then my other Sergeant Wallen, I did slide in at 7 on my list. So he deploys for free when you initiate battle. 2/2 power ability. 3 forfeit, 5 forfeit with arrest order. Very good. There you go. Well, and then I'll give a shout out to Major Bursk. The only Decipher trooper that is also a leader that cadets can deploy free with.
Mm-hmm.
So he's my last shout out. There you go.
All right. Kendall, any other honorable mentions?
So my entire 8 have been mentioned. 6 of my 8 were our list. I didn't have Tarl, and I didn't have the Cloud City guy, but he was my number 9. So this is a very, I love it when these lists come out this way. LSIC was on my list, obviously, and then Stormtrooper Patrol was on my list. I really considered instead of at number 5, instead of doing 2003, I seriously considered doing OG Stormtrooper. Just sort of as it is actually a pretty elegant design to have somebody that has all 1s as their stats. I think, and then it, stuff like Trooper Assault and stuff, you do like, it actually can sometimes see play with helper cards surrounding it. And it's just a classic iconic card.
Batmouse, you went through a lot. Anyone else before I give my list, and then I'll do what the final list is.
The Death Trooper would have been my other non-unique pick. Being able to add battle destinies with a bunch of guys is kind of great.
Yeah.
Those Death Troopers are cool because of Dark Forces.
Yeah, and then you stop the weapon destinies, so that's pretty cool.
Not that this matters, but I'll go through my list. At 8, I had Stormtrooper Patrol. 7, TD 4445, because who doesn't love playing with dewbacks? 6 was FN 2003. 5 was Stormtrooper Cadet, and then the Garrison. I put Sergeant Tarl at number 3, Sergeant Barish at number 2, because I felt a Biker Scout had to be there, and my number 1 was Captain Phasma, because, for everything that we talked about. But that's not the list of record.
I'm just happy that I've heard of all the characters on the list. I was afraid it was going to be like half characters that I'd never heard of. I mean, I know I had to look up some specific text on the stuff that I picked, but I mean, I looked at it was stuff that at least I've played before. Like it makes me feel smart.
So the list of record is at number 8. We have Trooper Jarrell Blendon. 7, TD 4445. At 6, we have Stormtrooper Cadet. At 5, we have FN 2003. At 4, we have Stormtrooper Garrison. Number 3, we have Captain Phasma. At position 2, we have Trooper David Felth. And at number 1, we have Sergeant Tarl V. At the end of this, I have to pick a winner, and Batmouse, you win because you made me number 1. Woo! And no, for trivia and for the hilarious use of the defensive shield. And David, you do get an honorable mention, and I promise to buy you a beer in Atlanta. So.
There you go. Ooh, that shield. I listen to all the other podcasts. That is my personal least favorite shield.
I mean,
it is not my least favorite, I can tell you. So, Kendall, Batmouse, any final thoughts?
Did we do a bad deck breakdowns where you did a trooper deck, David?
We did. We did my Tadigwat trooper deck.
Okay. Yeah. Does it still function?
It does.
Okay.
There's a couple of the, you can add the Captain Mod Tarek, the set 21 trooper to it, and Sergeant Tarl also got added to it. Okay. So there's 2 new troopers from set 21 that got in it. Okay, yeah, just wanted to make sure that it didn't get. I mean, I don't think it was high enough tier to get eroded, but just wanted to make sure there wasn't like some. Thankfully, the SSA change does not affect Tadigwat. So.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Okay.
live. But
Well,
now
I'll-
I have a competing trooper deck with IE, so
I'll try.
you don't know
remember
which one I'm going to play.
I'll try to remember to put a link to that Bad Deck Breakdowns episode in the show notes as well. But thanks a lot for coming on, David.
Yeah.
Someday we'll do another episode of Bad Deck Breakdowns, probably.
There you go.
And thanks, thanks, Karl, for Sargent it up.
Mhm.
As always, thanks, Batmouse. Thanks everyone for listening. Good luck, have fun, and no reverts. All right, awesome. That was a fun one.
Very fun. Good stuff.
This show was
When Gurgle sent that to me, I was like, "This is going to
Oh,
be
come
comedy
on.
gold."
It's
It's
terrible.
gonna be
Terrible.
great. And I
Yep.
just wanted to know what it was.
I can't sing at all, obviously.
This podcast is a production of the KendallCast Podcast Network. You can support the show for just $2 a month at patreon.com/KendallCast or make a direct donation through the PayPal link at kendallcast.ninja. Every little bit helps.